it is so important to lay the groundwork with our consumers to forge that strong, rich, deep connection. Whenever we have our experiential marketing campaigns, again, we want to emphasize the story and not the brand. And I'll have a scenario to explain that premise. But also we want to forge that engagement and entice or drive that target market to engage with our brand. I've already talked to you about the importance of the senses and tapping into that immersion. Because remember too, we have been in the cocoon for 2.5 years. Now we want to experience, we want to get out and enjoy it. It's almost, and I don't know if schools still do this, but in my day, when I was younger, we would have recess and we couldn't wait to get out and play and enjoy being out of school. It's the same kind of thing with the current scenario coming out of the cocoon. I've already talked to you also about the imagery and the importance of that and how that can really drive social engagement and help with our impressions and shares and a brand exposure, brand awareness. We want to make sure that we're driving loyalty, but not just the loyalty, it's all about forging brand advocates. We want them to sell us as much as we market and advertise the brand. So whenever we talk about turning them into a hero, we need to make sure that we communicate to the customer. They need to feel like we know their wants and their needs. We need to make sure we communicate to them that we're focused on that. And then how are we going to fill or resolve that? That is what they are looking to find from a brand. This is the campaign that I mentioned earlier. This is from Vanderbilt University in Tennessee here in the United States. And you can see what she's talking about there. She's basically saying that she selected Vanderbilt's MBA program because it was telling her, they focused on her. They didn't come to her and say, oh, we're an award-winning program, we've won this award, we're recognized nationally, internationally, whatever. She connected with them because of their messaging, saying that they wanted to find out from her, where is she looking to go? What is she looking to do? And they were focused on her rather than telling their successes. Another research component to keep in mind is, according to Bain and Company, companies that are dedicated and focused on their customer experience show an increase in revenue about 4 to 8% over their market. So again, it pays to be customer-centric. This is a campaign that was done by Coca-Cola. I'm going to show it to you. You may have already seen it, you may be aware of it, but I think it really is speaking to that whole experiential brand, taking it to a different level. The thing I like about that campaign, excuse me, is that it goes well beyond the product. We know that they sell soft drinks, and that you're tapping into a whole different dynamic and creating a whole experience. And that's the thing I love about that campaign. Now, this is one that Volkswagen did in Sweden. I'm not going to show you the video, but you can Google it if you're interested in seeing it. But what they did in Sweden was they took stairs and they turned it into a piano. Those keys would actually play whenever you would walk down the stairs. And it was a whole focus was trying to get people to take the stairs rather than doing the escalator. Take a peek at this campaign. That was really fascinating. Wonderful results. The customer journey in marketing, we have what we call the AIDA model, which is attention, interest, desire, and action. And we totally want them to. There's always a call to action with marketing. We want them to purchase, but the point being is that it is a journey, and we want to make sure that we tap into the different touch points there and find ways to excite and delight the consumer. One thing to bear in mind is that during the pandemic, because of all of the isolation and the remote work, research shows that innovation took a hit because you're not having that synergy where people are coming together and working together as one. Everybody was so isolated. So that's an area that's going to have to be focused whenever we start embracing more and more of that flex work or remote work, because we've got to have the innovation to have the product development and in order to delight, excite, delight, and deliver to our consumer. The other thing to keep in mind is that consumers' needs, they want, their wants and needs, they're constantly in flux, they're constantly changing. So we've got to stay on top of that as well, so that we don't just lock into one particular product and make sure that we're adaptable. The other thing is the customer cycle. And there again, looking for areas where we can excite, spark interest with our consumers to enhance their journey. The difference between the customer journey and the customer experience is the journey is basically what they do when they're on that path, and the experience is how they feel as they're going through the journey. Again, it goes back to feelings. We've got to tap into the feelings of our customer, our target market. Nowadays, there's a lot of buzzwords, experience-led, experience-first, and basically what we're talking about there, again, is focusing in on our consumers' needs and wants. That's the cornerstone of marketing, but it's even more important today with all the different dynamics. We really need to make sure that we create meaning, connections in order to drive revenue for the brand. We need to put ourselves into the shoes of our consumer. We can do that through different ways. We really need to just ask our consumer. You can see that only 1 out of 5 companies collect this kind of information. We need to find out what caused them to search for our product. How are they searching for our product? How are they finding us? Are they swayed by having a free trial or a sample prior to the purchase? Would it entice them to purchase? And why are they selecting us over the competition? That is vital information to know and to glean from our consumers. And they will share that information with us. By gathering that information, it's going to make us more spot on with our messaging and help us forge that connection to educate our consumer as to who we are and what we're all about. And there again, being customer centric is going to make us 60% more profitable. There's different global customer experience management competitors out there. You can see the list at the bottom, and the market for the global customer experience management is projected to reach 19 billion by 2027 with a compound annual growth rate of 12.3%. So this is where the focus is going to be. Now, with the customer experience focus, there's different things that we need to focus on that are essential. We've already talked about creating that unforgettable experience, that wow factor, to get that customer engaged, whether it's through imagery or storytelling. We want to make sure that we are turning our target market into brand advocates, that they're out there selling us as much as we are. All of that's going to help us to drive revenues and increase market share. And this is just a quote that I wanted to leave you with. Nothing ever becomes real until it's experienced. That's what we're talking about. It's all about the experience. That is everything that I wanted to speak to you about today. I know Dr. Patti was saying that he wanted to have a Q&A session. So we will open it up for questions if anyone has any questions.
Shukriya, Dr. Robert, for taking us through this experiential world of marketing. And yes, it is very true that moment of happiness has got the power of bringing the world together. And with your permission, I open the forum for the interactive session. We have few students with questions. I would like to first invite Khushi from Media and Entertainment Management Program of ITMI. Khushi, you may ask your question, please. Dr. Robert, I request you if we can stop sharing the screen so that the students can, yeah, thank you so much.